This transmission is from the BB Comic Verse.
Hey, and good evening. It is Thursday, August 31st, 2023, and we just finished watching the non-eviction of Big Brother 25's Week 4. There's no eviction, guys. It's a power of invincibility. It's a takeover. I'm Dave Mader here on Super Mader Brothers Podcasting, joined by my brother Jeff Mader and Jaemeel Robinson to talk about this episode, which is kind of like the week was canceled, guys, by the secret power here. Matt wins the power of invincibility. And it's a whole new day. It's a whole new week.
Do you have any takeover music? Like BB Takeover from like many moons ago?
I don't know if I have the takeover music specifically. I have to look that up.
That's very specific.
It's a takeover. That was kind of how it went.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right.
A whole lot of nothing. Just like a nothing burger of a week.
What is going on with the production of the show where I feel like there's a lot happening in the house, but the show is like, let's show you a competition for half an hour. And like, I don't get it. I don't understand what is going on with the show, because
the edit is kind of off for me for sure.
Yeah, like, because I feel like for the first time in a while, we have a really interesting house and cast, and like nothing is like set in stone. But the show is like, isn't it interesting? Like this new competition we came up with. Why don't we watch that for a while? It's just weird.
That should have been a four split screen, and just show everyone competing at the same time, and just go, oh look, Matt won.
Well, it was kind of like last night's episode too, Jaemeel. How we were saying that it was very like we had to watch everybody go through that challenge, which is the same set that they did this challenge on. It was like they were like, we need to get the money's worth out of the set. And you need to show the set off if we're going to build this whole thing. Like, we don't want to show it on the show for 2 seconds.
Well, also with yesterday, like when they chose like the letters, there was letters on other parts of the wall. They could have chosen other letters or made the golden letters, and like they made it way too easy, I thought.
Yeah. Oh, not for some, not for Jared.
Oh, yeah, well, notwithstanding one player who's only there for one reason, and let's be real, it's not to play BB.
It's to play blue.
It's to play BB.
Mm-hmm. Play with his BB.
Yeah, play with his BB.
Yeah, guys. Yeah.
We're gonna go through it, but what a petulant! No, I'm not gonna do that. She's my number one. I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah, to his mom.
Oh gosh, Lord.
Okay, yeah, we do have to talk about that conversation between Jared and his mom, Sari. We got a week, guys. It's Thursday, and I don't even have like Julie going. Guess what? There's a secret relationship in the house. Whoever got evicted, she would have been telling Jag this tonight, but guess what? That didn't happen. So Julie didn't even get that. There's a little bit of a nothing burger week here, although Cameron is completely thwarted because he put 2 people on the block and neither of them went home, and now he gets to play HOH. But is that a small consolation?
Watch him win, Dave. I'm telling you, watch him or Red win, and I'll laugh. I will straight up laugh.
It's not impossible that it can happen, but yeah, like I think that there's some, I don't know, with the whole Cameron HOH here, a lot of the episode was focused on the whole fake, what was it called? Legends 25. What are they called?
25, yeah.
Legends 25. And how that's a fake alliance, but Cameron thinks it's real, and he doesn't want to blow it up yet, guys. It could happen, and so that was a lot of the narrative of the episode. A lot about I don't know. I just Red's a lot of his DR sessions from tonight, where he was talking about how I don't want to use the veto because I don't want to put Cameron in a tough spot. You should be saying like me and Cameron talked about using the veto, but it doesn't make sense strategically for us to do it right now because we don't have the votes to get out, a backdoor target, like Izzy. That's what he should be saying, but he's not telling me that. So like that's another part of the way that the show presents things that I don't particularly care for, because I just think it could be presented better.
We've been seeing a pretty decent job of kind of detailing what's happening in the house. And it seemed that whoever those editors were, those producers were, they went on vacation or they had kids that went back to school. Because the B team truly stepped up this week. It seems.
Right. I don't even know if someone's like, "Hey, I'm gonna watch Big Brother 25. What should I do? Any suggestions?" I'll be like, "Well, just skip week 4. Nothing happened. Just you can
That's
skip."
not true, Dave. They couldn't find the condoms.
They couldn't find the condoms.
And you reach over to the panel.
They were there for safekeeping, Jeff. Where is
For
it?
safekeeping, whether it's the veto or some daggone condoms, everybody in the Big Brother house is looking for some protection.
She's pretty great. Like as far as the DRs and stuff, she's pretty funny.
Yeah, she's a character.
You need to see. That's what Big Brother's been missing: the sassy black woman that just doesn't care. Like she don't care what people think about her.
No, she's 62 years old or whatever.
Yeah.
You know? Like she's like, I'm on TV. This is great. You
She's
know?
like, hey, yeah. She has no F's to give, if you will.
Yeah.
No, it's great. It's nice to see because she could tell she's having a lot of fun with the show and everything. It's like, it's got to be very fulfilling for her to like be on the show. It's like, oh my god, like this is so neat, you know? You're
Right. Well, and like someone her age would never have been on the show previously. Like this is kind of unprecedented, right? So
That's very true. And just more people who are there for the moment and not for like the potential merchandising and career aspirations post Big Brother, completion.
Or like I'm gonna go on the challenge after this, or even Amazing Race or anything, like it's just like, yeah, you're there to play this game, like that's who they should cast. Yeah, for sure.
yeah. I think we should also let's just get right to it. Happened pretty early in the episode, the whole conversation, because like Suri and her alliance there, they decided that they'd rather keep Jag over Blue. Jaemeel, you were saying this last night to me that Blue was probably going to get voted out here, but ultimately it was a unanimous vote against Jag, 10-0 in this. And Suri here was trying to convince Jared because they needed Jared's vote to kind of pull this off, apparently. So
they didn't want to include other people in the vote because then it would get muddled, and of course Cameron would get wind of the possible, the structure of the house. It's like, oh, it's these people that voted. When if you leave it up in the air, it becomes a little bit more ambiguous, right? And that's where Suri and company are living the ambiguity of the house.
Suri's playing the long game here, ultimately.
Yeah.
Right. So,
well, I kind of feel like it feels like it's like Red and Cameron against like Jag and Blue, and then everyone else is in the middle.
In this case, yeah.
That's how I feel like the house is set up. And it's weird because it's like those are the two sides of the houses are two people, and then everyone else is just a big jumbled mess in the middle.
It's red versus blue, just like the United States. They have the red states and their blue states, and we're having it here again, Jaemeel, in the Big Brother house. It's polarizing more than ever. We got our echo chambers.
You mean what's happening in between Jared's head? The echo chamber.
The echo chamber in Jared's head.
Golden.
This guy. Like, okay, let's just him telling us he's the best. He's trying to be the greatest ever, guys.
It's just uncomfortable hearing that conversations took place without you being a part of it. I'm not going to play this game being told what to do at all, whether it's by my mom or whether it's by a close ally. And don't get me wrong, my mom is definitely a legend, but at the end of the day, I'm here to make my own path. I'm here to make my own decisions, and I'm trying to be one of the greatest also.
No.
Yeah, I almost I kind of laughed and then looked at him, man. I'm like, what planet is this guy living on? Like he's like one of the worst people I've ever seen play any of these games. He's terrible. Like he's not only like repugnant as like a person, it seems like, as far as like the way he comes across, but also as a player is really bad. like just like not aware, has no motivations. It feels like to really play the game. He's just cruising on his mommy's name. That's how I think most people
without having to expose that. Yeah, too, right? Like he doesn't want to have to be her son. Yeah, because as far as everyone else in the house is concerned, he's not her son. But he's got all this protection because of her, because she's protecting him, and she's the only one. She's playing hard. She's the puppet master of the whole house, and he's just kind of coasting by. This is nepotism at its best, guys.
Yeah. So Taryn Armstrong from Rob Has a Podcast mentioned that when he did meet Jared, how do you think he introduced himself?
the greatest of all time.
No. He mentioned that he was like Cerie's son, right?
Right.
So, people are speculating that he probably uses that as a pickup line.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like how Corey used the pickup line on America, like, "Hey, my brother was on Survivor. He got voted out first."
Yeah, his was kind of cute though, like because it was kind of stupid.
It wasn't completely stupid. I actually have the clip here.
I don't know if now's the time, but do you want my secret?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. My brother survived.
He was voted off in 17th place.
My brother was on Survivor. She's like, "Are you a billionaire? Are you a secret lawyer? Are you some kind of are you Batman?" But no.
No, he just sucks.
No, my brother was on Survivor.
It
Did not make it to Ponderosa.
But not like a well-known even pre-jury player. Like most people, if you asked them on the street, like, "Oh, do you remember this guy?" I didn't remember. I watched these shows. I didn't remember him.
He's an entertaining guest on Rob Cesternino's podcast, and he's I remember him being one of the funniest first boots I can recall. But and he's got a couple of videos on YouTube of his own, like his theory of what the what Survivor 41 would have been before the pandemic canceled it and everything.
41
or 2, whichever one, but the one that got canceled.
Did 41 get canceled?
Well,
it
got moved.
The move ultimately, it happened, but it ultimately, but there would have been a different cast originally before, and then it got changed. So that's what the video refers to. So he goes through this whole detective work. It's quite humorous, because the people he saw at casting and whatever else. But yeah, that's my little tangent on Zach Werdenberger, Corey Werdenberger. Okay, back to Jared.
Not a fan.
Not a fan. And
Anna hates this man. I have to say, she hates this man. She hears all the updates from the Rob and all them. She's not a fan of Jared. She thinks he's awful.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, this argument here with Cirie didn't look good on him in the episode. She's pissed off at him, and who could blame her? And then we got the whole thing about the competition. So that was explained.
Quickly going back to that. He's completely being unreasonable, right? She's coming to him with this information, pre-information. He was going to be told, right? But she comes to him to just kind of give him a heads up so he can start percolating on it. He doesn't even think about it. He's like, no, practically, no. And I don't trust them anymore, right? It was so petulant that the next step was we're not friends anymore. Right, and him to go to his room and lock the door and jump into his bed, with his face in his pillow. He seemed like just a huge big baby, right? Yeah. I was embarrassed for him watching this.
He's like, "You want me to vote my girl out? I can't.
She's my number one.
She's my plus one. She's my plus one. You can't ask me.
I can't trust Izzy." It's like, bro, Izzy has your secret.
Yeah, she's like, yeah. Well, Izzy's got us by the balls, basically, too, right? And
but Blue's got him by the dick.
Yeah. So, what's a man to do? So here he goes. But guys, then we get this whole competition, the power of invincibility. The 4 house guests who got picked to do this, but one after one, they came in and kind of read these things about whether they were going to even get to compete. Most of them did not.
I don't understand how people are so unaware, of their position in the house. I thought I was gonna know America. No.
America's like, my name's America. Why aren't you voting for me? I thought her pitch, she's trying to, or they know that they're not popular, so they're trying to become popular, trying to ingratiate themselves.
My favorite was Cameron, where he was like, yeah, I don't blame him.
I wouldn't vote for me either.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, you would know automatically 2 positions are being filled by Suri and Matt. An Olympian, an Olympian, and a deaf Olympian, bro. He's automatic. Suri automatic. So you're competing for 2 spots.
So yeah, ultimately it was Jag and
Corey.
Corey was a bit of a surprise for me, but the Zach Wurdenberger fame must be like carrying over, guys. All his peeps have carried over to Corey. Now it's like the brothers Wurdenberger.
So
I thought it was going to be America over Corey, but I guess not.
The funny thing is, Jared knew that he found out that Corey was picked, and he didn't necessarily believe it. And he was dogging on Corey's, personality about it, which to me was a hilarious sequence of events because Jared, who has the charisma of a potato, is dunking on Corey.
Oh yeah. What was Suri crying here with her 12-minute time? Is that what this was?
No, I think she appreciated that America.
Oh, they voted for her. But could this have been a more of a Survivor-esque challenge for Suri to get teed up here?
She sucks at all challenges, though. That's
She
like
sucks
her
at
MO.
challenges. She was never gonna win.
She was never gonna win. And the thing with like Suri is like, why are you surprised that you got voted in? Like, why are you so moved by this? Like, is that an act or is that like she's genuinely moved? I'm kind of always confused in those moments because I'm like, I don't get it. Like,
you're used to people liking you, aren't you?
Yeah, you've been on the show 4 times. Obviously, the show likes you. Obviously, you're popular. Like, I don't get it.
She's also on The Traitors, so she's been on like 5 shows.
But I think it's very different when the rubber hits the road, and I think Suri, I believe, is able to do what she does because she doesn't let it go to her head. Right? It seems like she has her feet firmly on the ground. Her son, on the other hand, not so sure.
Not as the apple does fall far from the challenge plank thing here. Ultimately, yeah, she puts up a 12-minute time. Then we got Corey who went after Corey. What was Corey's time? You guys remember?
Was it 150, 116?
No, because it has to be more than.
No, Jag got 53, and
so just over a minute then.
Yeah,
so,
just over a minute.
That's not bad, right?
Not bad. He did very well. Look, we're going from 12 minutes to 1 minute.
Yeah, it's a big jump here between 4th place and 3rd place, guys. But it was something else. But was the competition too long, like Jeff was saying earlier? Because I think like not for the 4 that competed for me, but for like everybody who had to go up and just show that they didn't get it. Like I get it. You don't need to show me with each of their reactions. I feel like they need to though.
They could have just went cut to nope, not me. Damn, didn't get it. Like you could have done that in like 10 seconds, quickly just go through all of them.
Some of them were funny. It's like I agree though with Jaemeel that they should have done the 4 split screens and just showed them all at once. And it's like because it was the same thing. Yeah, and I don't need the constant narration. Like, okay, I'm rolling this ball and I'm gonna use this bumper. And it's just.
And then I'm thinking like I need to roll it to this side or this side. I'm like, guys, this is not what we need. Like you have a lot of This is Big Brother. Yeah. Okay, you have nothing but hours and hours of content of these guys talking to each other, scheming with each other, and yes, you have these challenges you have to go through and who gets power or whatever, but like I feel like the mix is all off.
Also, like what is going on like with the aesthetic of these challenges? Like I kept thinking about Diablo 2 Act 2, but like I know they did the whole like Indiana Jones thing with like Izzy was wearing like the Indiana Jones. Like I kind of get it, but at the same time, it just made me think about Diablo. And then there's Terracotta Warriors, and
yeah,
I'm
it's all
confused.
over the place. I feel like they're trying to keep up with Big Brother Canada, Jeff. I feel like their production value's been shamed. They're like, we're gonna build a bigger set, but if we're building a bigger set, we're gonna do 2 challenges in there. We're gonna create a power of invincibility, and we're gonna get a bunch of props we brought over. Like, remember they also had that haunted dimension that they were in, or whatever.
That was just a lot outside.
Yeah, which was
They didn't
cool.
build a set. It's just a lot, literally a lot.
I liked that. I liked that they did something different like that. That was fine. I had no problem with that one.
But all this did was just it created a bye week. That's all it did. It extended their week,
Which we've
I
seen
don't
that
like
before. I usually don't like do-overs or cancel weeks. Like at least I preferred that this one wasn't. I only realized tonight that there was a good chance that this eviction could get canceled. And then I was like, okay, but if I had known that was coming for days, then I would have not liked it even more.
I don't like it at all. I don't think they should do buyback weeks like this, or reset weeks. I don't mind a buyback, but I don't like reset weeks.
I think they should have canceled the eviction.
Cancel the eviction before the vote out.
Yeah, why?
Yeah, why make him go through that? Make him feel like he's got to leave, and then all of a sudden,
if we're trying to get the drama right, then you either go all the way or you don't. So if you're gonna evict him, have him walk out of the house, and then he walks right back into the house, right? This vote, it just seems like we're padding for time.
Well, if he had walked out onto the stage and the audience is clapping, whatever else, would that have contaminated him?
It's a risk. It is a risk, though, because someone can yell out to him, I guess, is the risk.
Or at the very least, they should have pulled Cameron aside, tell Cameron the news so you get his reaction, and then he has to break the news that the eviction is canceled, Jag, you're safe, and have him have to say it. That'd be great TV. Right, just to have him kind of go through that. His HOH basically got nullified, and it's the wheels are turning in his head. Who did it? Who was the one who did it?
So ultimately, Matt wins this challenge, and the next sequence, he's telling Suri. Suri seems to be the person he has the most trust in, and like Suri's like, Matt is awesome. Matt tells me he's got this power that he'll use it, and like this is great. I love Matt. She's big.
She's like, he's the son I've never had.
Yeah, she's like, forget Jared. Come here, Matt. You know,
isn't that funny that she has Matt and Jared has Blue? It's like, like they're not working. I don't feel like they're particularly working together in this game. They're kind of just like, yeah, we know each other. It's like we meet up, but they're not really like allies or like really like close.
They're not working towards the same goal. No,
I agree to that statement. I agree with that statement.
But they're family, and so it's what it is. It kind of reminds me a little bit of like the Pax brothers, who had to play together as a team, but ultimately would not have worked together, I think, in the game. If they had not been forced to.
But why is it that, like, how does Suri and Jared go into this game? How do they not have a conversation before?
Oh, I'm pretty sure they had a conversation, but understand who she's conversing with.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's the problem. She's like, but like, what happened? Like, did Jared get cast on the show? And he's like, my mom, Suri, she'd play. And then they were like, oh, that's a good idea. Like, is that what happened here? Like, I'm just confused of how both of them got on the show together, because they don't feel like I don't feel like they are on the same page at all, as far as gameplay and strategy and it's
what their alliances are.
What their alliances are, what their motivations are, and what they want out of the experience.
Jared wants to get his dick wet, it seems.
Well, yes, and Suri can't do that, So
well, she probably shouldn't, but it's
High school would have been very dedicated to making sure.
Yeah, I think Jared's a disappointment, for to be sure, and a liability for Suri. But she'll never cut him. He's her son. So
who's a bigger liability? Is Jared or is he a bigger liability?
To Suri?
Yeah.
Probably Jared.
100% Jared.
She can control Izzy. She can't control Jared.
Yeah.
So ultimately, guys, we got this whole vote out, 10-0. There were speeches. There was long, lots of hugging and everything else. But like that's all kind of yada yada.
I have to say though, first time I have to think in Big Brother history where both people on the block got up and started talking in a foreign language. Right, that's got to be the first time I've ever seen that on any Big Brother
in the same episode. Yeah, maybe
it was pretty neat. Like I was like, we've come a long way. This never would have happened even 10 years ago.
Yeah, although it would have been funny if what's his name from last year, who's like, "Everyone, please sit down. I have something to say," and it just storms out of the house. If Jack did that,
oh yeah, who did that? Who did that though?
That was the comp beast from last season. What's his name? I feel bad that I can't remember his name.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy how we watch these shows for hours and hours, and
talk about them for hours and hours.
Talk about it, and then it's out of our brain. We don't.
We're like, who was that guy? What was his name?
It tells you who really stands out from season to season, because like I don't forget Zach Rants.
No.
Never forget Zach Rants, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the person who was the most winningest house guest, it seems, I seemingly can't remember, was Michael.
Oh, Michael. Yes.
Michael who?
The tall Michael
Berner.
The tall Michael
Bruder.
Dude.
He was an attorney.
Yeah, he was annoying.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, yeah. But yeah, it was like fine. Yeah, it was a good moment there. We got the like the foreign language eviction speeches, but like guys, a lot of this was just like okay. And then the shout outs, like there was just even the moment where Bowie Jane in particular went to go vote, and she decided to say good day, Julie. She's like Julie was kind of like holding her there, she's like, I am ready to say good day, Julie. You're like,
she's gonna be on Big Brother Australia, 100%. Yeah,
they're like Big Brother legend.
Bowie Jane
from Big Brother 25 gets eliminated second week.
Amanda and I watch entirely too much Australian TV, so for me it was like no big deal to hear her talk and like the super Aussie accent. But like it is like kind of it's weird when everyone else is American and she's the one Aussie, and you're like you stand out like a sore thumb.
And she loves being the Aussie in the room, right? Like some people when they're like have something unique about them, right? Like whatever it might be, like or like a nationality. Like I'm a Canadian who's often with Americans, and so sometimes I bring attention to that, but sometimes I don't. So it's
War of 1812, baby.
Yeah. Well, for instance,
we burned down the White House.
Yeah, we got you. Don't look it up. Yeah. Okay. So who do we want to see their face? Cameron. Oh, here. Like I have the moment here, guys. Let's when Red finally read this note here that the universe here. No, apparently. Okay. Just before we. Okay, let's have a look here at Cameron's. Yeah, there's his face. Yeah. Okay. And so yeah, and I felt good for Jack, but overall here, like I was surprised that Matt used this power because he could have be in danger this following week, and he could have used it to save himself. Ultimately.
Or saved like
somebody else.
Was Jag his closest ally, or even
not as close as ally? And and I think I got a comment here from Sam who says that it was ultimately Sari who convinced Matt to do this.
Well, what happened was Matt came to Sari because he doesn't trust anyone else in the house since Riley's been taken out.
Right.
So Sari is his new Riley, and so I don't necessarily think it like. He was going to do whatever Sari kind of told him to do because he trusted her experience, and he needs somebody. Matt doesn't really have anybody in the house. And then Sari is like, oh, well, this is great for me, so it worked out for Sari, but I don't know. I think that's what happened. Matt needed someone to talk to and tell him what to do. And she was like, well, but I don't get why Sari wanted to save Jag. I don't get it.
To me it makes sense because there's not enough competitors in this game on her side. right?
Competitors who can beat Cameron and Red in competitions, and Jag.
But
Was
not even that. What about Red? What about Matt? Right.
Well, Matt's on her side
for now.
For now, well, yeah.
So what you're saying? She doesn't burn it.
So what you're saying is, if Matt wasn't on her side, then all the main competitors, even if Jag's gone, are kind of not on her team.
Like you cut off you cut off all opportunities of movement. Let's say Matt flips, you still have Jag and Jared as your options. Let's say Jag is gone, you still have Matt. Like you want that flexibility. It's still this game. They get rid of either Cameron or Red, they only have one shot, right, per week to really have a lot of power.
But this is kind of Cerie's fatal flaw in all these games. Is what she does is she attaches herself to good competitors. She gets to the end game and the good competitors cut her, like Aris in her first season, like Parvati and Amanda in Micronesia. Like she does this, and she aligns herself with good players, good challenge competitors, because she's like not good at like Matt, she's not good at challenges. This is a classic thing with Cirie, and this is how what she does to get herself to the end of the game, but then she never has she knows everyone sees her as a threat and too likable, and then she gets cut.
Honestly, I think that she needs to if she really wants to play these games, she needs to like buckle down and say, hey, you know what, I'm gonna put in the work. I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to go like crazy and like really improve my fitness, play carnival games, work with that's ultimately like the invincibility challenge was basically a carnival game.
Yeah, it was rolling a ball. Right.
Well, that's not her strategy. She doesn't play that style, so it's.
But you're telling me Cirie wouldn't be able to get some person who knows the tricks of the trade to like run it through her and prepare her?
But also
an automatic advantage in comparison to everyone else.
But in Big Brother, what you can do is you can target all the big challenge beasts, and then you're left with the likes of Blue and Jared and all these players that are just as bad at you at all these competitions, right? Like I feel like that's would be my strategy if I was Cirie, is I'd want to get rid of all the competition people and use my early. Okay. So when you get to the later end game, at least you have a chance to win a competition.
Yeah. But okay. So if you're Cirie, Cameron and Red are the enemy right now. She doesn't trust them. She's in this fake alliance. She wants to take the shot as soon as she can. So ultimately, but if you're Matt and you win this power in this situation, do you use it to save Jag or not? Knowing you can use it to save yourself next week. Jeff, what would you do?
I would not. I would have saved it. I would have taken Jag out.
You would have let him get evicted.
Yes.
Jaemeel?
It's difficult when you don't know who's going to win HOH next week, right? Because
of course,
if Jag's gone, then they're going to put up Blue and who's going to be up Blue and Jared.
So next week Red wins, and he puts Blue up Matt. He puts up Matt and I don't know, for instance, or Matt gets backdoored. Matt doesn't know, right? Okay, or whoever you are, you have a chance to almost guarantee your safety next week. But instead you can use it on Jag, who is an ally. But ultimately, do you want to be like most people I find play from a position of caution? They don't want to be saying like I saved so and so and I ended up getting burned. I think a lot of players come into the game thinking to avoid that.
Ultimately, is he going to tell Jag that he saved him?
Is it in his? Does it behoove him to do so?
I think so.
Because once he tells Jag, that information can get out. I think if it's just Matt and Cirie who know it, I think it's better for Matt in his long term, because if Cameron doesn't know that it's specifically Matt that did this, then it's better for him. If he does, Matt, or if Cameron or Red or maybe even somebody else finds out that it was Matt who did this, I think that they could say this just increases his target no matter what. How can it not? So it's just it's better to keep it on the down low, as they say. That's my take.
I just feel like if you could build inroads with Jag, like Matt is trying to position himself the best way he can, and having Jag swear not to like, I'm sure I have no doubt that Cerie's probably gonna let it slip to Jag that she convinced Matt to save him, and then Cerie gets all the glory and Jag's undying love when it was really
Suri
Mike's
didn't
decision.
see, and that's why Suri didn't need to win the competition.
She did need to, and she's smart enough to be able to take advantage of that whole situation from Matt.
Yeah. Okay. And after Jag was saved tonight here, Blue was in tears. She was hugging and crying deeply. Were you guys moved? Oh,
No.
No.
No, I also don't understand why everyone was hugging each other. Like when like Jag's the one leaving, but then like I would see Izzy hug Bowie Jane. I'm like, what are they hugging for?
It's tradition. It's tradition. They just
So
hug
you
each other.
after they leave, it's supposed you're supposed to hug. Oh my God, they're gone, but they weren't. He wasn't gone yet, so you can't hug yet. It's breaking tradition, if you ask me. Ultimately, yeah, he was saved, and then we don't get any kind of like start of an HOH competition tonight. It's more just a little bit of like let's eavesdrop on the house guests, and we see a little bit of them talking to end the thing. Jag mostly in shock. Jared looking pissed off, I would say.
Why? He got exactly what he wanted.
Do you guys like Matt's man bun and earrings and stuff?
I don't hate the man bun. It's the open up shirt that is perfectly like it's perfectly not worn right. Like it's like, yeah, it looks like he's about to go to a photo shoot.
Well, he is. He's on TV.
Did he shave before he decided to open up that those extra buds?
I think he shaved. I think he got out the real like razor blade here. Got to get that level. We got the laser anyway. But yeah, Jane was saying she doesn't like how he normally has his hair to the sides or whatever, and this was better with it tied back. But
yeah.
Anyway,
I don't like any of his hairstyles, honestly.
Yeah,
the show loves them. I'll tell you that they love showing them.
Cameron's trying to get a cameo on Yellowstone.
I was thinking the same thing. He's like a bad guy on Yellowstone, but like, but not one of the ones that gets beat up by like the guys from the ranch. Like,
half hour. He's not a second half hour kind of guy.
Yeah, he's the guy that like wants to join their gang, but then they brand him just to teach him a lesson.
Yeah. Send him home. Yeah, no, that's Cameron. Yeah. Yeah, so guys, there's not a ton more else to say for this episode or this week because it was kind of a do-over. We don't, we can't even really, I guess, are we glad Jag is staying? Is that ultimately?
Well, yeah, I do like Jag. I think
I like Jag too.
I don't like that he's staying, other than only for the fact that I don't like these reset weeks.
Yeah,
but I do think that if it was Blue going home, I'd be more mad. Let's put it that way.
Oh, you'd want Blue to stay?
No. I would.
Oh, that they.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that they took it back.
That they took it back because, like, I don't like Blue. I don't want her in the house. I want her gone because her and Jared are like the. I don't even think they're there for the show.
They're the Mid Lee and what's the other guy's name? The mid from Big Brother Canada 9.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I thought actually that the Blue's goodbye message to Heisem kind of rubbed me the most wrong with her. Let's play that clip.
Heisem, I appreciate that you played an honest game, so let me honestly tell you that I am excited to get your lying ass out of this house. I'll see you, hopefully not too soon.
See what I mean? Why you don't want to listen to these?
Yeah.
He was right.
He was like, girl, bye. I'm not even gonna.
Yeah, no, he was not. I don't think he was too broken up about it. But yeah, like, so I don't know. Like, I think that I agree. Her and Jared are not super likable for me yet. Or
they're the annoying Instagram couple.
Yeah, I'm more okay. But are Corey and America a couple?
No,
they're close though. They're on their way.
More America than Corey. Corey's like, he is like, I guess, kind of.
Really? So
Yeah.
America's more into Corey than the vice versa.
Yeah, because Corey is so much younger. He's focused on the game. He doesn't want to do anything physical with America.
She's 27. Corey's 21.
Oh, 22.
Or yeah, it says 21 when he went in at least. So 6 years apart. But yeah, and he's normally it'd be the other way around. It would be the younger guy, be the horn dog. But she's like, why don't you want me, Corey? You know, is this what's happening? Really?
It's like, did you not know that I got producers took bikinis back from me because they were too skimpy? That's what you're getting into.
I thought you were a billionaire, but now I just found out your brother was a survivor, you know, and now
She still wants him.
But she still wants him anyway. He doesn't even have to be Batman, you know, it's not even, but okay. Yeah, America. Do we have anything? America was looking good tonight.
Well, she likes younger men, Sam, so you have a chance with America.
Sam is definitely hoping one day to live the American dream.
But you have to be asleep to believe it. That's the problem.
Yeah.
All right. Well, guys, no spoilers, right? We don't know who the new HOH is.
No, there's no spoilers. They ended the show. They're not gonna feeds are gonna come back up soon.
Fish. All you know is fish.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fish should adopt puppies.
Who? Okay. Like if Cameron wins it again, I think that is maybe like as much as I don't think I want that. Maybe I do want to see what that will look like. I think
you're fated to burn.
Yeah, I think I'd be interested to see what Cameron does on a second go around after all this. If not him, like I think I would be interested to see somebody like sort of under the radar. I would like Bowie Jade as an HOH, you know,
or McCall.
Yeah, that would be interesting. Someone a little bit unexpected, somebody we haven't seen a ton on the show, like McCall in particular. I think is a great example.
Yeah.
And maybe
I forget she's in the house. Every time they show her, I go, "Oh yeah, she is in the house."
McCall, yeah, right.
Huge impact player.
You know, I noticed like
late bloomer.
I noticed Cameron's little alliance. Like he noted, like he was saying, like it was him, Red, America, Corey, all right. And I have a great name for this alliance. So it was a couple other people. I think they should be called the dinner party.
The dinner party,
right? Because they were all. It was all the white people in the house were in this alliance.
Technically, America is not white.
Well, it's fair enough. But
America Lopez.
Yeah.
But to be fair, she is passing at the same time. So
yes,
she's passing. So where does that leave her?
Purgatory? Purgatory, she could go on either side.
Oh.
Yeah, she's in between. She's in that adjacent. But yeah, I just thought it was interesting that it was like a reverse cookout, and it was like, you know, so I'm like, it's got to be the dinner party then, right? Like it's more formal.
I loved it when he was naming the names. I'm like, oh, this is so awesome.
Dinner party.
I was cackling because. Folks, come on. Everyone knew there was going to be a response. And anytime that something comes up, people are going to be thinking it. It was in your mind, Jeff. It's in everyone's mind, right?
Well, I said it to Amanda. I'm like, what do all these people have in common, Amanda? She goes, what? I'm like, they're all white. She goes, so what? I go, really?
It was like back when like the alliance with Cody and Nicole Franzel and like all them back the All-Star season a few years ago. And like Cody was the only one in the alliance who didn't have blonde hair. It was even the whitest alliance you ever saw.
It was the Aryan alliance.
Yeah, it was like Memphis and Christmas and Nicole and like Cody and Tyler, I think, or whoever else was there at the time. So, but yeah. Well, I guess like things like that can happen. All right. Well, we'll be back. I guess we'll be back Sunday, guys. Talk about the week 5, which is just week 4, part 2. But you know, hey,
yes.
Yes, what?
Yes.
You don't does that mean you don't think you can make Sunday?
I don't know. We'll see.
Okay, well, we might be back Sunday, guys. We'll see. Play it by ear. And we'll probably be back next Wednesday at least for that veto episode.
How many more weeks until we start Tuesdays?
Tuesday. This is gonna be a Tuesday episode.
No, there. What Survivor comes back?
Oh yeah, well we have to figure out Survivor. That's not until September 27th. But
Okay, so we got a month.
We got like a month, but Big Brother will not even be like done by then.
No, it's going hella long.
It's going. This is the longest season ever. I'm like, but did it have to be? Yes, we have a writer's strike. So the plan is 100 days, 14 weeks. So guys, we have 10 weeks to go.
Lord.
Can you believe this shit? Whatever. Like save Jag. You can't afford to vote him out yet. There's too many days more to go. Like
I thought about that. I'm like, they're gonna have to do a couple of these probably because one person got kicked out, and then they already. I felt like they didn't have enough people anyway, So I'm like, they're gonna have to do 2 doubles, at some point, So I was like,
how long was the first season, or how long did the old seasons used to be?
They were like 100 days.
No,
they were 100 days.
Like the old. They were like 80 days.
Yeah, like 80, 90.
Okay, we still have 70 days to go in this season. Right, so like that's how we almost have.
What's weird, Dave, is this season's going to end in like November. That's what's weird. I mean, most of the times the latest the season would end is like in 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
Yeah, it's going to end near Christmas.
Yeah, that's what's going to be weird.
I assume that neither of you work with any Filipinos because tomorrow is the first day of Christmas music playing season. So at work,
I've known Filipino people, but I'm not.
What?
I'm not
Why so early?
That's when they start celebrating Christmas, September 1st.
Wow.
So my coworker has already announced to me, is like, Jaemeel, this is the end of celebrating summer and Halloween. Christmas starts. Hence why I'm wearing my Halloween shirt today.
This is like how Ukrainians do Christmas in like January.
Well, that's Orthodox.
Well, that's Orthodox.
That's Orthodox Christmas.
Right.
Like I have very strong opinions about when people should be celebrating holidays. I think that Halloween shouldn't be in people's minds until the day after Thanksgiving, Canadian Thanksgiving, the real Thanksgiving, and then Halloween should extend past the 31st until the end of the first week of November, and then you have a week of remembrance, and then you go into Black Friday. And if you want to do U.S. Thanksgiving, you can. Right after Black Friday, you go into Christmas until the end of the first week of January, which will also cover Orthodox Christmas. Right? That works out. Everyone gets their time to shine. Like everyone gets like 3-4 weeks.
Yeah, well, there might be some logic to that. Yeah, American Thanksgiving, if you want, but you don't have to. It's an optional observation.
American Thanksgiving's about football.
Yeah,
it's not even about. It's not. There's nothing else that's about.
Yeah, so that's why I celebrate Canadian Thanksgiving in October. It makes more sense.
Which is for them just President's Day or something?
No, it's Columbus Day /
Columbus Day.
Indigenous People Awareness Day, I think.
Right. So celebrate the guy that killed a bunch of indigenous people, and it's kind of funny.
Yeah. Some duality there. Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah. We'll maybe be back Sunday. We got more podcasts to come. We're part of a United Federation of Podcasts. If you didn't know, we do other shows. We got Live Long and Podcast doing Star Trek. We got Trivial Debates doing Trivial Debates. We're looking to do we got a host and 3 contestants. Most recently, doing the Office episode, but there was also we also have a Transformers themed episode coming.
Where did that come from?
I think Murphy got high and he's like, "We're doing Transformers."
Lord,
he
probably just imagines the different transitions he can do in between contestants and debates.
Most likely. Yeah. So watch out for that in September. Aiming on Track doing music album reviews. Hellbound podcast doing horror audio podcast comes out on Wednesdays. X-Rated X-Men the animated series review show talking about X-Men the cartoon. with Andre and Davan. Comes out Tuesdays. They just did the interview with Voice of Nightcrawler. Graphic Histories podcast with Andre, interviewing all kinds of interesting people from comic books, movies, TV, different people in the con scene. And then Hold Up, a movie podcast where Davan and Murphy yell at each other about what a good movie should be or shouldn't be. And you don't understand, and innocent people are caught in the crossfire. And
poor Jeff. Last episode, seeing Jeff just there.
I was trying to be a good mediator, but it got to a point where I was like, I'm just gonna let him go.
There's just a point where Davan, he just gets so frustrated with Murphy that he just gives up, and then he goes.
Actually, I find it went more the other way.
It's the other way around.
Yeah, Murphy was like
Murphy just flips out. Like, was it during the heist episode when Davan revealed that he did like Breaking Bad, and like practically the entire show just.
I told them I don't like Jurassic Park all that much, and they both looked at me like I had three heads. You know, I was like, I'm not a big fan of that movie. I
the original movie?
Yeah, the original one. Like I've watched it once or twice, and I'm like, I don't need to see that movie ever again. It's like, whatever for me, But some people like put that movie on such a pedestal, and I told them that they were like, well, yeah, it's one of the best movies ever, and I'm like, okay.
That's what I tried to tell them about the American President.
There's some movies you never talk about, like poorly about. You don't talk about Back to the Future. Right. You don't talk about Princess Bride. Right. Because people, what's it? Saving Private Ryan. Right. You don't talk about Teen Wolf. Really?
No. Teen Wolf's amazing. Classic movie of the 80s. That should be held up on a pedestal. Really.
Not Teen Wolf 2 though.
You know the scene where he's on top of the van and he's surfing down Main Street. It's amazing. It's Styles.
No, you're right. Jurassic Park is put in like that echelon of movie.
I think only because it's got this amazing score on it. Like I think that's why Jurassic Park still sort of resonates. But
I also feel that way about Star Wars, but that's a whole other conversation.
Good music can make a really good movie. Like
that's right. They really can.
Just here we talk about RoboCop 1 to RoboCop 2. RoboCop 1's score is amazing compared to RoboCop 2, which is just a ripoff of Star Trek 4 Voyage Home, same composer. Anyway, but that's a whole other little tidbit. All right, guys. Well, I guess we'll get out of here. Love one another and everything like that. We'll see you next time. Yeah. And we'll go out on this.
Well, how y'all gonna get me to vote with y'all other than telling me?
They want to tell you, but they want to wait to tell you.
That's my point. But I don't trust them for that.
Okay.
Yeah, they lost my trust 100%.
I know, but you can't ever lose your trust, right?
I mean, if you lying to me, bro, that's kind of how you lose my trust.
But Izzy has kept your trust from the biggest thing from day one.
Doing something now that you really trying to keep.
Please don't act different, like you know anything.
I'll be chilling. I swear to God, I won't show no difference, but I don't. That's done for me. Like, I was solely focused on making sure this group was safe. That's done for me.
That's crazy, though.
Because
that's crazy. Think about it before you say that. Just think about it, because that sounds crazy.
I got you.
I love you.
I love you too.
From the comic verse.
It's from the comic verse.